Hey guys, what's up? My name is Paul and I'm an Uber and Lyft driver. And I want to talk to you guys today about drunks. And I want to be straightforward about it. A lot of people who get in the car are drunk as hell. And they just came out of a bar and they're not even going to remember their experience with you, but they're going to be in your car because they clicked request a car and you press accept. So that's really what happened there. You're there and they're drunk. What do you do? Well, I've heard a lot of Uber and Lyft drivers say, oh my God, I don't want to get a drunk in my car. What if they puke on my car? Well, I've done about 1,300 of these and I've only had 2 pukers. Okay, only 2. One was a girl who wasn't too nice to me, threw up on my car. She was sticking her hand in my face like that. Didn't really relate to her, unfortunately. And I emailed Lyft because I knew she had 1-starred me. And I 1-starred her, and actually what happened with that is I got shut down for 2 weeks. So, I almost thought I was going to lose my job, and Lyft decided in my favor, and they gave me $25 for her throwing up, which was minor. She threw up basically almost on the outside of the car. It wasn't much, but I didn't trust her. I'm usually out to help anybody. I'm looking for a picture, sorry guys. I'm usually out to help anybody, and I feel bad for anybody who's really drunk, and I'm the type of person who will try to help you. I'm not just there to make a few bucks. If I'm with a person that needs help, I will help them. Another guy threw up all over my car, and that was actually the picture of the outside of my car, and I never sent it to Lyft because I didn't want the kid to get charged. He was came from a college party. He told me, me and my boys, we got kicked out of the party, and his buddy was in the back seat right here. That's the guy that puked. It wasn't the guy who was paying for it. And he said, can you open the window? And I already knew what that meant. I remember being drunk when I was young, and I remember the feeling of the air just bothering you. That means you need to throw up. So I asked him, you need to throw up? And they were saying no. He threw up out the window. We pulled over somewhere. He threw up more. Must have been pretty nice. I actually continued driving them to their destination. And then I forgot what happened. He needed to throw up again, I guess. And we pulled over and I was like, that's it, man. It's like your 3rd time throwing up. And he agreed. The outside of my car looked like this at this point. It looked exactly like the picture I had shown you. But the thing is that the passenger, the kid who was paying, he was understanding. And he said, all right, man, I understand. That's the end of the ride. The other kid actually started urinating on the side of the vehicle. And, these kids should have had their account taken away. But we talked and he said, yeah, sure, that's the end of the ride. We cut it off. And he went into the app and he actually tipped me like $25 or something. So I saw that the kid tried his best, and he actually paid for it. So no throw up was inside the car. There was 0. I had checked it. So I decided, and I was laughing on the way home. I was like, that was hilarious. There were some military kids. They had to go walk on base after that. I was like laughing when I went in the house. And I just decided to be cool and not send that to Lyft, not get him in trouble. Because I think he would have got charged like $100 or something. And I just didn't want to do it to the kid. He had paid for it already. He had tipped me. But, here's another picture of it. So, I had learned from the first girl that if you report this stuff, you're going to get shut down for a week or 2. So unless I really feel like it's something that's really affecting things, if I feel like it can pass, I personally will let it pass. I don't want to. And look, that was the picture of the inside of the car. It was spotless. The kid did not throw up even a drop on the inside of the car. Just on the outside. So what I did was I just drove to my own washer's place and I sprayed it down for $3 and I washed it myself. And that was the end of the problem. That was the end of it right there. Okay, that's all it was. Recently, I had a really bad drunk guy and I had to take him to the hospital. I took him all the way to his house. He was snoring in the back seat. Right away, we got in the car. We said about 1 or 2 words. And he fell asleep and he was snoring and I was like in the zone. I didn't really even look at him. I got him to the front of his house and I noticed he wasn't waking up. So I got back there and I forget the guy's name. It was a big guy. Started tapping, pulling on his hands and pulling on his feet and thought to myself, what am I going to do with this guy? Gave him about 5 minutes in front of his house, and then I realized I got to take this guy to the hospital. And at least on the way to the hospital, I'll see if he's, you know, talking, if he's responding. He was just snoring, and I figured that he was really drunk and maybe on some medication, something like that. So started to seem like a real dangerous situation, and I just took him to the hospital and I left him there, and that was the end of that. And that was actually a few months ago. So, you know, you can get into some scary situations doing this, and you really have to understand that, you know, your job is important, and their life is important. And, you know, when things, if they get scary, or if you're ever caught in a situation that doesn't make perfect sense, you know, call for help. There are people who understand this stuff better than me or you. We're just Uber and Lyft drivers. So, you know, I wanted to throw that out there, that, you know, it's not just driving somebody around. This is a really important job where you're actually taking care of somebody for, you know, 5 or 10 minutes, and you're offering your services. But if something were to go wrong, you're the closest person to them. So you need to actually help them. And you're responsible on the app, Uber or Lyft. It actually, you know, knows exactly where you are at all times. So you're being tracked. So you got to know that. So you got to do the right thing. And if you ever get caught in a scary situation with a really drunk person, you have to help them. That's your job. You have to stop working that night. You have to realize that's that, and you have to call for help. So drunk people are not bad. They're actually a lot of fun. They're just trying to have a good time, go out for the night, and get home safely. And that's really what your job is. And I'm sure, you know, a lot of Uber and Lyft drivers work nights. And even if you don't work nights, you know, and you're working days, you're going to encounter drunk people at all times. You know, alcohol is legal and it's sold everywhere, and people tend to use it a lot. So another thing is, you're going to go through a lot of DUI checkpoints, and you better make sure that, you know, you're the sober one and you have the drunk person in the back. I've yet to hear a story about a drunk Uber or Lyft driver, but I'm sure there have been. That's about it. You know, if you're looking to get good ratings, I would deal with the drunks. I really think that they're happy, that they're not really looking around, they're not too perceptive, and they're just trying to go from point A to point B. And you will get good ratings by working with them. You will go do 10, 12 rides a night and get all 5 stars very easily, and your tips will be higher than during the day as well. Most likely. I mean, I don't know about the tips, but your ratings will be high if you're dealing with drunk people. They're not going to go around 1-starring you when they're drunk, unless you did something severely wrong, because they're really not thinking about you. They're just thinking about having fun. Well, thanks, guys. I hope that you do go out on Friday and Saturday night and you do encounter drunk, intoxicated people, and you do have a good time with them. And I don't think that you should be afraid of them. I'm sure you went out having a good time too, so you should be able to understand that, you know, you're working and they're having a good time, so you want to give them a good time. Well, it's a nice day here in San Diego, and if you're looking to sign up for Uber or Lyft, there are big bonuses that Uber and Lyft are giving out now. Lyft is giving up to $750 in bonuses, while Uber, I think, is still just giving out $100 right now. But these things fluctuate. Use the promo code FRA2X for both services, Uber and Lyft, and you will get that bonus amount for either one. FRA2X. Thanks, guys.